Armenian television network, and
Oh
I
yes,
know
there
these
are.
guys very good. And they called me and said, "Oh, Eugene, you know your news broadcast."
Which one?
is-
Sarkisian?
Uh,
Shant.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, this guy. He told me that there was a very funny television network, like pirates. They've been stealing the signal out of different networks, and they took my news, the NTV, America, and put this news into their broadcast and put titles in Armenian all the news saying that it's Armenian news. And when I came to LA and checked with the local platform, I believe, I don't remember what was there, American. And I asked them, okay guys, why you are illegally showing my news without my consent, my permission? They said, no, we have the permission, we have this in Russian. I said, please show me. And he showed me this letter in Russian, and it was really in Russian, but it was about bakery. So the guy took something from bakery, said, this is a permission from us. So it's a funny situation. But with other guys, this Armenian network, we are very, very good friends.
Good, good.
Okay, so Frunzik, you know Frunzik?
Frunzik.
Short guy, who was driving Hammers and Bentleys and has a yacht close to Kabzon yacht, you know this stuff?
I don't know it yet.
Yeah. We had a barbecue and he said, oh Eugene, this is my yacht, that one is Kabzon's. Okay, so we are ready to start.
Yes.
Father, as to other guests of our documentary and participants, we would like to start with an introduction. Could you please introduce yourself, your name and your position?
I'm the Archbishop Liken Aykazyan of Armenian Orthodox Church. I'm here in the United States, Washington, D.C. as legate and the Director of Ecumenical Affairs of the Armenian Church based in Washington, D.C.
The World Forum devoted to persecution of the Christians are very much in targeting of the current situation of persecution and oppression of the Christians around the globe. What would you say about the topic of this forum? Is it the right moment?
I think it's the right moment. I think it's the right place. I think right guests. But the question of persecution is not something new. Persecution has been going on for centuries. The persecution has been going on in different parts of the world. For example, in 2016, the Christians were the most persecuted people in the world. Most 2016.
A year ago?
Yes. Are we doing enough to stop it? No. Are we talking about it a lot? Yes. Is it something beyond the church's capacity? Yes, it is. I think it's a time that the governments, so-called Christian governments, or open-minded governments, whether they are Christians or not, try to infiltrate, try to penetrate into it to stop this persecution. For example, when I speak about the persecution, let me give you one example about the persecution of my people. Let's start with the massacres that took place in Armenia before 1996. The massacre of 1909, the genocide of 1915. Has anything changed? No. Still, that persecution continues.
And Armenian Christians suffered a lot. We know, of course, what you just mentioned. There's terrible facts, especially genocide of Armenians in 1915, which is officially acknowledged, right, by everybody but Turkey.
It's not acknowledged by everybody. It has been acknowledged by many countries, including Russia, France, Germany, Italy, Vatican, and others. But Turkey and the United States, they haven't They haven't recognized it. And I hope and I believe and I pray that one day they are going to accept, because to acknowledge one's mistake is very important. If you don't acknowledge your past, if you don't acknowledge your history, whether it's good or bad, it means that you are in wrong track. So we are working on it. We will continue working on it. Because unless the perpetrator of the genocide are punished or they acknowledge, the same thing could happen in any other part of the world.
So it looks like the world needs another Nuremberg process. Nuremberg process punished and acknowledged
Yes.
the atrocities of Jews and
Yes.
Slavic people and gypsies.
Yes.
But the world needs something like this, which is acknowledging all the atrocities and persecution of the Christians and Armenians.
Indeed, indeed.
Why do you think, Father, please explain, why did you pinpoint this very controversial thing that 2016 is the year of the top, when then the Christians were the
Based
most punished
based
faith?
based on the reports that we received from different organizations and governmental organizations as well. And it gives us an alarm to be ready for 2017, because we just cannot go on like this to see the suffering of people. I mean, look at the Middle East. The cradle of Christian civilization is disappearing. And there is no Christian nation who openly says enough is enough. In Iraq, there were 1.7 million Christians in 2003. Today, there are less than 200,000. And it's going on. I was in Baghdad 2 months ago. I met with every Christian leader. I met with the president, prime minister, minister of interior. I met with non-Christian leaders, Muslims, Sunni, Shia, Yazdi. But nobody could guarantee that Christians are going to stay in Iraq.
In spite of American military force
Yes.
presence?
Yes.
In
Yes.
spite of all international community?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And why do you think it is happening now? What is it because of the war against Saddam Hussein in 2003, or there is no relevance?
No, because it has some connection with that one. But the most important thing is the penetration of terrorist group, ISIS, Al Qaeda, etc., etc. Because the first person that they attack is a Christian. The first house of prayer that they attack is a church. So for them, they have to eliminate Christianity from Middle East.
Why they are doing this? Is it like militants rule, or it's inside of Islamic faith?
It's militant group. I cannot accuse Islamic faith in that sense, because not every Islam is a bad Islam. There are some very good. I mean, I'm talking to you about the Armenian genocide. There were some excellent Muslims in Turkey when they defended the Armenians in 1915. The governors, the mayors, the religious personalities. But they are minority. We need majority. You know, I will tell you a story. It's very touching story. It's extremely difficult to go to Baghdad. So we were defended by army. We were taken from one place to another. At the end of our trip, we met with the youth, the young people, Christians. And I asked a question. I said, you know, we are coming from Western world to try to help you. What do you want us to do for you? Do you want us to build your churches? To build homes for you? Schools? Hospitals? What? One of the young people, one lady, 27, 28 years old, she got up, she said, you know, I don't need you to build house for me, or church for me, or school for me, or hospital for me. Do you see me? I look like a human being, but I am not, because everything has been destroyed within me. They have taken my identity. Give my identity back. Are we the Christians of Western world, so-called the Christian world, are we ready to work to give her her identity or not? This is the problem.
If we would have a look back to the history of the civilization, unfortunately, during the Middle Ages, Christians also considered Muslims and Jews as the infidels, right? So it wasn't a Christian faith, but it was Middle Ages. It was the one of the darkest period of human history. Do you consider the current situation in the Middle East as a Middle Ages situation?
Yes, even worse, even worse.
So that
because beside the Crusaders there was different ideology, not only to kill the Muslims. I mean, they killed the Christians. They devastated the entire Byzantium when they passed, but they have acknowledged their mistake, and they still apologizing for what they did 900 years ago, which is good, which is very good. And I think the same, for example, could be done by the Turks. I don't blame any young Turks for what his or her grandparents did to my grandparents, but I blame the government. Why don't they acknowledge the genocide, you know?
And Christian faith is not dictated to the people which faith they choose. Every person is free to choose whatever he wants. Why Islam is so dictatorships?
Well, they are doing they want to convert the entire world into Islam, you know.
But they won't.
Of course they want. Of course they want. And unfortunately, the most powerful people are helping them. I mean, it's something known in the Western world that Saudi Arabia, the Gulf countries, Qatar are helping. It's known that for a long time Turkey was supporting openly the terrorist groups in Syria and Iraq. We know that many Turkish journalists have been imprisoned because of their articles telling that while Turkey is supporting the Islamic movement, Islamic groups, but no punishment, which doesn't mean that President Putin or President Trump don't know. They know. If we as simple human beings, we know, of course they know much better than we do.
And do you think, are there ways to join the efforts by all the Christians, right? By Catholics, Orthodox, Protestants, to stand against all those persecution of Christians?
Yes, this is a meeting to show that it's possible that we unite.
So you are positive that this is possible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Father.
you. Thank you. God bless you.